Welcome to Shows to Astonish, the science fiction review show that goes there. I am your host, the FAT Mantis. Today we'll be discussing Westworld, Season 3, Episode 4, The Mother of Exiles. This episode unapologetically embraces the new format in which Westworld finds itself in, the futuristic ninjas and super spies genre, which includes a futuristic hacking and bank heist done by Caleb and Dolores, Maeve's samurai showdown, which didn't seem to work out for her, as well as a kung fu fight in the middle of a swank masquerade ball, and like spy genre, it has a lot of twists and turns. The first half of the episode seemed to have a lot of exposition and allowing the viewer to understand what the new real world is, which tended to drag on. And at the end, around the halfway mark, they decided to infuse it with action, and lots of action they did. Much of the action feels forced and as contrived as any of the cowboy cliches that we found in Season 1 of Westworld, particularly all the cowboy heists and other shenanigans. It was almost over the top, which makes me believe that there is a possibility that the simulation within simulations theory could possibly be true. For those of you who are not in the know, that is the theory that our hosts haven't actually escaped the island, but are in another simulation, possibly inside the giant mother brain computer, almost as if it was a safety net to prevent the hosts from escaping, and that this very world that they live in, including Caleb, is all fabricated. This seems like a twist Westworld would go in, and there seem to be a lot of indications that the real world isn't happening. I will tell you that if you were ever at a masquerade ball and a man and a woman get into a kung fu fight, you are probably not in reality. Another thing I want to know is, why did Stubbs and her even engage in that activity? And I hope they didn't just kill Stubbs, they literally just brought him back. Honestly, I think Stubbs could survive that fall, because quite frankly, I think I could survive that fall. This episode also is a secret Man in Black, aka William, storyline, despite the fact of him having very little film time. He's not in it a lot, however, the beginning and particularly the end with the twist is there. I believe that this episode firmly plants that William, the Man in Black, or now I suppose the Man in White now that he's in a rubber room, indicates that he is definitely a host. But not only that, I believe that he was a host created by Dolores for the sole purpose of continuing to torture him. As this poor man, as it turns out that his daughter and Dolores in the end are programs put into his mind that he can never escape while he's in that rubber room. Now, it seems like it's the end of him, but to be honest, he has been down for the count before and he will be back. He is resilient as F. Now, an interesting part of this is Maeve. Maeve is a character who always seems to have more fun than every other character on the show. She gets to go to feudal Japan, she gets to have samurai battles, she gets to go to World War II and be a British spy. It seems like she's always having, and not only that, she gets god powers. And she's given technopathy, and her host form now has the ability to control computerized things. Computers are literally affected by her emotions, as we saw walking throughout it. However, it comes to a limit where she has to have a samurai duel from an old friend or enemy, as it turns out. And in it appears as if she is killed. Now, I do not believe that Maeve has reached her end, and there is no way that they're going to let her die in a pool of robot milk. There is absolutely no way that that is the end of her character, but it is interesting that she finally encountered a situation she could not overcome with her superpowers, as she's been trotting around for 3 seasons long, waving her hands like she's Harry Potter. Expelliarmus, indeed. She just gets all the troublemakers, all the people who give her problems, waves her hands, they're gone. That finally her overconfidence is met with an opponent she cannot defeat in combat. It was interesting, and I can't wait to see how she's coming back. I am 1000% sure she's not dead. Now, which brings us to the actual true twist at the end. There seems to be 6 different Dolores. We were under the belief that she stole 5 pearls to bring 5 of her own buddies back with her, but it turns out that each and every one of them is just a copy of herself. Now, this puts new light on what we saw last episode. I actually had the theory that Charlotte's character was actually Peter Abernathy, her father, because of the insecurity and the issues and the ultimate trust that he gives Dolores. But as it turns out, that was Dolores. But the fact that it is acting completely different than Dolores, anxious, unsure of herself, not sure what to do, shows that because of their experiences, even though it's her personality, they can act in different ways. I think that this is an indication that it is possible that Charlotte Dolores is going to, especially because she's a mother and she's doing motherly things now, will become the nurturer that we saw in season 1, and she will rebel against the pack, and she will actually become the true antagonist against Dolores Prime, aka Dolores. I give this episode a solid 80. It was a good time. It was not the emotional impact and thrill ride as last episode, but not all of them can be bangers like that. And that concludes our review of Westworld, Season 3, Episode 4, The Mother of Exiles. What did you think of the episode? I am interested in your comments. Please leave them below. As well as to remember to like, share, subscribe, and remember to tune in to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more reviews of science fiction shows and more on Westworld. Until next time, ciao for now.